Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sleepy, and welcome back to Danganronpa. So, it's trial time again, and this time we'll see if Kyoko died or not. So, if it isn't Kyoko, shouldn't she be here? Well, let's see.
Whoa, Byaka and Makoto show up together.
Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Just ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you?
Huh?
What, are you jealous?
Hey!
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
I think a little bit of both.
What?
Well, that's not creepy. Hey, if two guys want to go out and investigate themselves, well, each other, I guess, that's totally fine. Well, it's not creepy. I mean, it can be creepy. But only if one of those doesn't want that. So, that wasn't creepy. Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But he didn't. We stood there for five full minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. And then, 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again.
What should we do? Should we keep waiting here or...
Or what?
What?
Jesus.
No, that's Monokuma.
Did I scare you?
Come on.
Oh no.
Did I scare you?
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that?
What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait.
In other
I'm
words,
waiting for everyone.
Oh god, what's wrong with my voice? Wait a second. Totally not getting the high pitch that I want to.
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we?
What are you talking about? Everyone is here. Waiting for you.
Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us wait. Right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now.
If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look. Ah, it's not Kyoko. Oh, fucking, thank goodness. It's not Kyoko. Oh, I'm here. No one is with Kyoko!
Kyoko, you're still alive.
No, that's a ghost.
Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
is that right?
I made it here just fine. What's code regulation there, Violet? Am I wrong?
You're so selfish, so spoiled.
Oh, look at that little tail of it. You bears have tails. I mean, real life bears. Stop it.
You're right. There's no penalty. Officially. Officially. But I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts into the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you.
When Makuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die.
Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay.
Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh?
He's right. Now we've got to deal with a ghost.
I told you to stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator.
Master, wait for me. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we wait too long.
But
I'd be happy when this trial is all over. Oh, I doubt that. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time?
used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you?
Correct.
So I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Kyoko completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting.
So she isn't the culprit? But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes
Wrong.
to. Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in this school.
What? Kyoko's account has been added.
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial. Okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me.
For her?
That's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right?
Is she the culprit? I mean, maybe it was a personal vendetta, that would make sense.
Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator.
Okay. Nearly 7 minutes in and we haven't started yet. And the door slid shut, sorry. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In the dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair. Wait.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
Ah, I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Thrills!
Let's get
chills,
on with the show!
And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, deadly deception, deadly betrayal. The deadly riddle, deadly defense, deadly fate, deadly class trial. Yes, please. I don't want to repeat that if I fail. Skills. Do I have any new skills? No, right? I have none. Okay. Oh no, lost in thought. Increases the time limit for each phase. Oh, that's good. They will say what's what in the class trial. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Oh, come on.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
Oh, it's... I have an idea. What if it's her twin sister? Oh no.
No, that's a ghost!
Conspiracy Sleepy is kicking in.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
What?
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay.
Agree.
So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Wait. Why did I make that sound right
Her
now?
traits?
One important trait that Kyoko has that proves the person is
I got it!
the gloves.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
Not
They
only
probably
that.
just got burnt up in the explosion.
No.
I'm not convinced.
Okay, that's
the ghost
weird.
is just trying to
Why
fool
did
us
I
all.
discuss about that? There was no way the corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here in the Why do you even listen to Hiro? I mean, he's a nice guy and all, but he's just stupid as hell. Dumb as fuck, some would say. So I didn't have any choice but to... Oh, really? Really? Make your argument. Tattoo on the right hand. Let's say fake nails
That
first, but...
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
Oh no, that was wrong. I'm an idiot.
Shoot!
My bad.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Yes! Objection!
No, that's wrong.
Oh, counter. Sorry.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Exactly.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Not as much.
If anyone
This
doesn't
case.
know women, it's you.
Yeah.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Exactly. I'm with Byakuya on this.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to
Mukuro
figure that
Kusaba
out.
is the only one who can be,
That's
right?
the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from here. Well, it's Mukuro Kusaba, we know that, because she's a member of Fenrir, and Fenrir is a wolf, and she has a tattoo.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition,
True.
and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
True.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Oh yeah, we can identify the body. Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, I know. It's either
Kyoko
this...
really is still alive. Then who died?
How do I forgot. I always forget. Okay.
There's gotta be some... I don't think so. The face was scorched and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Cat.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, this will be a long trial, guys.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
You mean because I let Jill kill me?
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Oh god.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. It's hard chicken. It's a chicken coop. Mukuro Kusaba's profile. Is it that one? Yeah, it's Mukuro Kusaba's profile. Yeah, but this one.
I got it!
Because she's a member
The
of
Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
Oh, come on, really? Do I have to spell out Wolf of Ragnarok? Oh no, just Wolf. Come on, a W. I want a W. Give me a W. Now I lost the F.
Now I
Is
understand.
this maybe the last trial because they make so much games for so
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology.
Exactly.
A huge world-ending wolf.
Exactly.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
Oh god.
wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
Apparently not.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you
sounded
saying
very
the
final
main
to
mastermind
me
is dead?
Beginning.
And now we have to have a last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
Yeah.
After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro
Oh,
was
come on,
wrong.
she got one thing wrong here.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now.
Did she get the
Figuring out
title
who
last
killed
round?
Mukuro
Last
is
round.
first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much
Thank
as
you, Monokuma.
possible.
I want to get through this
Fine.
trial.
Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation.
Thank you.
Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the
killed her?
students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Huh.
Wait, no!
It's Kyoko?
There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
That's not far-fetched.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Well,
I got it!
Yeah.
You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me.
So it was
right?
Kyoko.
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm
Headphones. Let's go.
that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four
Yeah,
of
it
us
was
were there
Toko's.
trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis...
Unless it's like a group thing.
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
So the only suspects are me and Kyoko. Damn it. I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clean it.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Somebody
Wait,
go
who
ahead
got
and help
me?
him out.
Tina, right?
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at, well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m.
Let's
Since
see what
that's
the
when
twist is,
Toko went
because
to get the
currently
pickaxe.
I'm just, okay, why are we shooting for this again? This is not a part of the mystery.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit. So I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around...
Wait, I don't think it was Kyoko. It was such a dumb idea from her to hide
Oh
the car.
yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Yeah. Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 and 9 a.m. 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I have an alibi for 10 p.m. to 7:30. Okay then. Looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I must have the proof that it didn't happen during the time I don't know. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Well, the body was in the garden before 7:30, right? What do I have? Sprinklers. Oh, the fragments. Oh, that's a good thing.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So
Yeah.
Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Wait, so
We've established a time frame for the murder.
the sprinklers, right?
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Damn it.
Shoot!
Wait, didn't I have...
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Damn it, I missed.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Damn it. Come on.
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It
True.
took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Wait, how do I save those things again? I always forget that. God damn it. P in yellow. Firing the bullet, loading the bullet, quick select. Flashback, silencer. What weak spots? Oh, I need to hold down the left mouse button,
Yep.
right?
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if
You have any objections?
Oh,
now would be the time.
no, oops, that was the wrong button.
We've established a
7:30.
time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere
Between 10 o'clock at night.
Damn it! What is it?
Shoot!
Oh, I think I have it.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Damn it, what's wrong?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, that's my death.
Shoot!
Oh, wait, I know. I think I know now. Yeah, but I can redo the thing. Try again, come on.
I refuse to give up yet!
Powering up, back again. Could be a long one again, holy hell. So is it the analysis that we had?
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
And 9 o'clock.
Yeah, from to 7:30.
God damn it!
Shoot!
It has to have been before 7:30.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between
10 o'clock at night.
Really?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere
gonna-
between 10.
Yeah, god damn it.
No,
Finally.
it's wrong.
I knew it was one of those. Just went through each and every possible wrong
Actually,
combination
the
before
murder
that.
couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
No. Oh my god.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What a weird
What do
description.
you mean by denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
We should prove certain evidence. If we look at the body itself, it should make it clear. Oh, come on. Again? Moment of truth. Oh my god, no. Oh no.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying
How
to
do I
blame
reload?
me?
Oh, E.
I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything.
God damn
Hold
it.
on! Are you trying to blame me?
Oh,
How can you say it was
This should prove it.
oh, thank goodness. I hate this. This is the worst of the game.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a
Oh,
maniac!
that's not what I. Oh god damn it, Kyoko.
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Yes.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
Exactly.
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko is the only one without an alibi, which could mean that Kyoko's killer is, which could mean, well, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Exactly.
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's
Who
gotta
had the
be the
bomb?
culprit.
That's the question.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
Yeah.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take was covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Yeah. This, for example, why do I had to get the tarp if she's gonna say it anyway?
I got it!
Right? That
You're
would be a
talking
nice
about the
development
tarp,
during the
aren't you?
trial.
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why
Well,
would
this
they
sort of
go to
little
all
blood
that
underneath
effort
the
just to
thing
keep
went,
the
right?
body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why can't you say that? Don't you want to make people think? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, tarp must have touched the body. Touched the body, right? But the body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Oh, come on. I said this was a long one. Body before the explosion, I guess.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Yeah.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Yeah, it's wrong. It
No,
should
it's
have.
wrong.
Because there was blood all over it. Like all over the body.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
These smart
Because
pants.
the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you.
Oh, is Byakuya the murderer?
If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely
Because
would have
he
gotten
wouldn't
blood on
have.
it.
He wouldn't have known it isn't dry unless he had killed her, right? Is that it?
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Oh, maybe. The blood was.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like
Well,
that?
in the pharmacy, right?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood
Oh,
packs from the
nurse,
nurse's
sorry.
office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what
okay.
happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Wait. Oh no, they killed the chicken.
I got it! Could it have been...
And threw the chicken in the
Chicken
plant,
blood?
right?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
So it
But
was
after the
Byakuya
murder, there were only 4.
then, right? Because only
So
he.
you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood?
Must have been Byakuya then, right? Because only he would know that the blood isn't dry yet.
Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I agree with Hina. Yeah, it's a waste of a chicken.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
Depending how much you use, right?
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
Yeah.
Covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so.
Oh, come on, Makoto. This is garbage. Because no, they didn't.
No. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off.
Yeah.
But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They
Okay, I'm
already
confused.
had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe.
So
But still.
Kyoko? No, but she... Wait, that would make sense, right?
Hina,
No, wouldn't
after
you?
you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not.
Okay, wait a second. Kyoko is trying to do something, okay, because, again, it doesn't make sense for her blaming me, because if she's wrong, which in this case she is, which we know, all die, right? Apart from the blackened. So I think it's either Byakuya or Kyoko, because she went up there as well.
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
True. And the suspicion falls back on me again. Why? Why is Kyoko trying to attract me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body has been added to the
Well then,
rules. Oh,
looks like we're back to square one.
that's what I said from the beginning.
Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Yep.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just.
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
I have the feeling that one of the guys who was killed isn't
The
dead.
knife we found stuck in the body
some
came from
reason.
Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
That's not how a percentage works. Sorry. Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Does it make the argument? Yeah, okay. What do we have? Disguised dead body, exploded body, and a fragment in the body. Maybe that?
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Yes, it is.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No.
So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
No.
The knife we found, it's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
Oh, come on.
You took that knife.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
I skipped that
The
accidentally.
knife we found, it's
Well,
the same one. It really is, isn't it?
This,
He did have that seals it. Just because that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Shit, that was wrong.
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
Wait, we
I
didn't
was
know if
afraid of
she...
that.
If he did have that knife before,
That seals it. Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
well, getting stabbed is what killed her,
Okay,
right?
I thought that was wrong anyway.
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
We don't know that.
You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Do we know that that killed her?
The knife we found, it's the same one we gave. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had the knife, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her,
Damn it.
right?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead
Oh, I have a
body.
little bit left. Oh my god.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was
It is,
afraid
yes.
of that.
If he did have that
That's
seals
my
it.
last
Just
try
because
for
I
this.
had that automatically makes me...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Yes, we did. Don't
no,
know that,
that's
guys.
wrong.
Because we don't know that. She gets hit over their head as well. Or something.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine.
Exactly.
So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot. There's no way that's possible. Well, it is, but the exact condition of the body written down for everyone else to see.
I got it!
Yeah, the Monokuma file.
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
And the knife,
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
Good, we have that covered.
They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Oh, poor Toko, or Jill at that point, flying off there.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it
Yeah.
impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
oh hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
I doubt
I
that.
might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto.
Yeah, she's a little bit dumb.
Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of. the explosion. Yeah, that's the...
I got it!
Got it!
After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
Exactly.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Hangman's Gambit? Or Argue? I like the Gambit, it's easy. Oh, only... okay.
Then shall we continue the debate?
Yes. Please.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Correct.
And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
True.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's
Fatal injury has yet to be
be determined, correct?
Okay, that was wrong. I thought it was wrong.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue
Oh
the
god,
debate?
thank you.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Did it though?
Well, yeah. She
Well, it
was
should
already
be.
totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Oh, maybe... Oh, yeah, now I died. Well. For you. Yeah, we know. Come on. I know I failed. Miserably. Okay. I will end the episode here. Next time we'll continue, otherwise we'll go on for way too long. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Sleepy, and have a good night.